Hey, yo, what up, dudes, and welcome to the mid-season check-in of the Short Hair Don't Care Fantasy Football League. I know I said I was going to do more of these this season. I have not. But here's the mid-season one because for fun. And this is going to be a pretty short one because we're all like in the swamp. We're all in the slog, and we're all within a couple of games of each other, except for one, maybe two people on one end. And you couldn't even say one person on the bottom because we're just one game back of like seven other people. So the standings are a mess. This is, I think, the most bunched up we've ever been midway through a season. So let's look at the standings and see where we are. So as we can see, here are the standings. Randy standing strong, undefeated, 8-0, can't be stopped. He's a lock. And you got Kit at 6-2, Gethin at 5-3, and then 4-4, 4-4, 4-4, 3-5, 3-5, 3-5, 3-5, 3-5, 2-6. So even Brian at 2-6 is one game back from five different people, two games back from three other people. Like everyone is within a couple games of each other except for Randy. We're not even gonna count Randy. He's the outlier that you kind of delete from your data set before you start doing your analysis. He's just on a roll. He's on a tear. He also leads the league in points for, and he's playing great defense, second in the league of points against. Ketan has the lowest points against, and that's probably leaves him to 5-3 because he's I don't want to say all the way down here in points for, but it's fine. He's doing fine. Everyone else is just doing meh, at best. Like what are we doing here? Why do we do this? Injuries across the board for everyone have been horrible. People not showing up have been horrible. This was supposed to be the year of the tight end, right? Tight end is so deep now. No, it's not. Tight end sucks. It's always sucked. It sucks so bad I dropped Mark Andrews, and as soon as I drop him, now he's scoring a touchdown every week. I I started him through two 0.0 weeks, then I finally drop him, and now he's scoring. So it's like tight end was deep, then it's not, and it's annoying, and tight end is stupid, and we should abolish it. That's my take. All jokes aside and all bitching aside, it has been a fun season. A lot of great stuff in the chat. We are still waiting for Getan's video. Friendly reminder, you have until the end of the regular season before heavy penalties become incurred. Sir, I hope you're almost ready on that. And without further ado, we do have an interview today, so I didn't want this to be too long of an intro. We have an interview, and so we got the man himself, of course, the only undefeated team left in the league, the man on top of the mountain, standing head and shoulders above everybody else. It's Randy, our fearless records leader. I don't say our fearless leader per se, but he talks a lot about the roster and how we got here and where we're at moving forward. I'm hoping to get this under the wire in time before the morning games. If not, it'll post during the games. But we had this chat before the game started, so or last night, I should say. So enjoy. Here's Randy. Here he is, the undefeated, the unbelievable. No one saw it coming. The Gaston, the greatest costume this side of the Mississippi. Randy, 8-0. How are you doing, sir? How are you feeling? What are the vibes?
Dude, the vibes are good. I mean, it's good to be first. Let me say that.
I was like, the vibes have to be good. You're rocking in the nursery, but there's no baby in your arms. So I was like, you got
No.
to be feeling good.
Oh yeah. Baby's asleep. Baby's been asleep for a while, so this is prime time.
Okay, so we won't be getting too loud. I think let the baby
Oh yeah.
sleep.
The sound machine covers almost everything. So
Okay, awesome. Well, Mister Auto Draft, I think everyone
hybrid auto draft.
hybrid. Okay, so let's clarify this. Let's clarify this. At what?
Mm-hmm.
How much auto draft was there? At what point in the draft did you take over, and for how many rounds? Break down your draft strategy for us because you're the only undefeated team left. You're the only team with 8 wins. So break down your draft strategy for us.
So, I mean, the first two rounds of the draft every year, I feel like just all the big name players go just one after another. And I feel like it's always just everyone's like, well, let's just take like whatever the top ranked running back because our league loves running backs. So it's always the top ranked running backs just go. And so, I mean, I feel like most people, whenever that happens, it's like, it's just, okay, who's the next person per draft order just to get those top people out of the way. So the first two rounds, I don't think really matter that much
Mm-hmm.
because everyone's taking top players and it is what it is. I use the auto draft for kind of that from like round three to round like five because that's where I feel like you guys know the sport more than me. And so that's where you start kind of filtering through some people. And I was like, I'm just going to let ESPN do this for me.
Okay.
And then after that, round 6 or round 7, it kept trying to draft another quarterback because that's what the highest ranked player was
Ah,
after
okay.
quarterback started to go. And so I was like, no, you can't do that. So then I had to start manually picking players all the way down until probably around round 14 or whatever, like the second to last round is.
Yeah,
And then after that, I turned it
14.
back
Yeah.
on because I was
We,
like,
we go to
okay,
we go to 16. So yeah, 14, 15, 16 at the very end.
so for the last two, I was like, just let it find, I don't know, two random players just to fill the bench.
Fair.
So it was a mix.
So okay, so you went basically auto draft for the first 6 or 7 or so. Then you took over. But even when you took over, would you say it's like a hybrid solo draft where did you still use the ESPN rankings and you just said no quarterback but the next best, or did you target certain players? Because looking at your roster, you had a very interesting roster that I want to get to in a second. So were there certain players that you targeted in that 7 to 14 range, or did you just take the ESPN rankings non-quarterback?
So when I get to that part, every year what I've done is I have like, the first set of the roster filled. So then it's like, okay, bye weeks are coming into play now. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to have like two running backs in the same bye week. And then so like that's part of it. Part of it's also like, do I recognize the person?
Okay, so you're
Because
going
I
name
know,
recognition.
so I do like I just filter by like running back because I know we burn through running backs in this league. So I was
Yeah,
like,
we
okay, I'm
do.
just gonna filter by running back. Here's like the top 20 or whatever. Of these top 20, like I'm definitely not picking someone on the Jets, even if they're ranked high. I'm going for like a team that I know
Fair,
and like
fair.
someone that like I've heard of. And so it's kind of like there's no math behind it. It's just like how I
Okay,
feel about it.
that's fair. That's fair.
So
Well,
that's
it's
probably why I've lost most seasons.
well, clearly not this season, my man. You are 8-0. Like I said, you're the only undefeated team, the only team with 8 wins. The next highest is Kit, who has 6. He's 6-2, and you have, according to the rankings, you are number 1 in the league for points scored by 10. 896.74. Literally exactly 10. 896.74. Next highest is Brian with 886.74. Now you've been playing, and you've been playing some good defense. You have the second best points against, so people aren't scoring as much against you. And hey, fantasy is luck, but fantasy is playing great defense. What is super intriguing to me is that you were devastated by injuries. You had like 7 guys in the IR, but
Absolutely devastated.
you hadn't used a single dollar of your fab until like last week, I think.
Yeah.
You still you as of this recording right now, you still have $90 of your fab, and I think you just used 10 last week. I'm not even sure you picked. I'm not even sure who you used it. Oh, D Hop, I
The
think,
defense.
and a defense. You picked up DeAndre Hopkins for the Chiefs, and you picked up a defense. But it's like you haven't used hardly any of your fab. You've barely made any
Well, no, I had
transactions.
DeAndre Hopkins. He just got traded to the Chiefs.
Oh, you had him from the Titans. Okay, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I need to look at. That's what I need is your transactions. But it's like I feel like you've barely made any moves.
That's the only one I've done.
I think you had.
I finally got rid of Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, I was gonna say you had Brandon Cooks for 8 weeks longer than you should have.
Yeah.
So you've made
I mean, dude, Hodel gang is strong over here. So
like literally hardly made any moves, and you're somehow 8-0. You've been riding basically Chuba Hubbard and Saquon to victory. Cup has been gone. He's now back. Pittman has been up and down.
Pacheco's been gone.
Pacheco, you lost Pacheco early. I mean,
Yeah.
like this roster, like if you look at this roster objectively, like this is not an 8-0 fantasy roster, but you are 8-0. Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow are your quarterbacks. Saquon, Chuba Hubbard, and Chase Brown carrying you at running back after losing Pacheco, of course, as we talked about. Cup went out early. He just came back, so he almost doesn't count for wide receivers. So wide receiver, you've been rocking with Pittman and D-Hop and Nico Collins until he got injured as well. Evan Ingram at tight end, who is tight end number 29, and you're just rocking him. And even though you have Zach Ertz,
For a while.
and like it's just like I don't understand it. Like what? How? That's my question. How?
I think I pray to the fantasy gods and it just works out.
Is that what you're doing? You're just praying every week? Instead of picking up free agents, you're just praying and it just keeps working?
It's a mixture of praying and as much Ericing as I could possibly do.
You know what? I almost regret introducing that to this league because it's
So
so
powerful though.
it's
Like when you like
so
Brian,
so
poor
silly.
Brian just got like absolutely ericked last week.
Well, so if we go like you're I almost want to go week by week to these score differences. So week 1, you beat Oscar by 26, like not
Yeah,
close.
because Oscar sucks. Easy win. Easy win.
Week 2, you beat Kit by 23.
Hmm.
Week 3, you beat Jesse by 16. Like these aren't like close like 1 point.
It's going down though.
It,
Like I
it,
started
it,
off like winning by a lot, and they've been getting closer and closer as my team has been more and more devastated by injuries.
yeah, then you beat Noshad by 27. But it's like so these aren't like close wins where like you have a tight roster and you're dealing with injuries and you're squeaking these wins out. You're winning by margin. You beat me by 30 week 5. Week 6, oh, these are your closest. You beat Getan by what is that? 5 in week 6. So that's your closest game all season so far. You
No, no,
beat
Brian was just by one.
Tish by what is that? 16. And then week 8 which is the most recent. You just beat Brian by 1. Yeah. So you had two
Yeah.
2 games out of 8, even within single digits. Everyone else is like 15 plus. So this roster that we're agreeing doesn't make sense and has been devastated by injuries, season-long injuries or significant injuries, and you're blowing people out except for 2 weeks. Like it's like the karma is incredible with you. How long can you ride
I
this? Are you well, you're a lock to make the playoffs, basically, a virtual lock. How confident are you that this streak can continue?
I mean, for me, my goal every year is to not be in the toilet bowl. So that's like step number one, right? And
I
I
think
feel
you're
like
pretty. I think you're
we're in a
pretty
pretty good
safe. I
spot
think you're
right now.
pretty safe right now.
So that makes me feel good. And then after that, it's like, okay, what would it take to win it? I was close, what, 2 years ago? I lost in the first round of playoffs, but like by barely.
Hmm.
Um, and then doing the math, I would have won in the second round of playoffs, but I just wasn't in the final.
Right,
And
right,
then
right. Gotcha.
with
Yeah,
all,
you do the what if sliding doors moment
yeah,
of yeah,
oh, the what if killed me that year. I was like, I could have been a contender.
yeah. So here's my question: Are you concerned at all that you've used all this good karma surviving these injuries on the early part of the season, and you might fizzle out on the back end and not win?
Well,
Or like a real NFL team, you want to lose somewhere between like week 8 and 12. You don't want to be undefeated and then lose in the Super Bowl. You want to lose the game early and then go on a run. Are you concerned that you might have like early front loaded your karma?
no, I'm not too worried because a lot of the people that are on injury are supposed to come back in the next couple weeks as we progress.
Yeah, true. The IR for
So
Pacheco and Nico are probably coming up in the next 2 weeks.
yeah, and so I was that's why I was holding these people so long because they were supposed to come back this season still, and I was like, okay, let me see how long I can ride this out
Hmm.
with these injuries. And I was gonna wait until I lost like once or twice, and then I'd start trading, but I just haven't, and
Yeah.
so I'm just gonna try to keep riding them out until the others come back, and so hopefully have like a strong push at the end as well.
I was like, yeah, you get Pacheco and Collins back with this current lineup. You're going to be, I would argue, the deepest team in the league, especially with Chase Brown. I tried to get Chase Brown off of you a couple times, and
Yeah,
at this point, after this week's developments with Zach Moss, I feel like you hold on to Chase Brown, you get Pacheco back, you get Nico Collins back. Now that D Hop is on the Chiefs, I think
yeah, that's
you're going to have the deepest team in the league, like ready for a playoff push. And it's just like
I'm hoping.
yeah, and like Pittman's gonna drop, I think, for you, and you replace him with whoever you want, and you're gonna have a really, like very, very dangerous team. I think things are looking up, but and you
Yeah,
still and you got the Steelers defense is chilling there on bye.
yeah, yeah. So they'll be back next week.
Yeah, you're looking good, brother. I don't want to jinx it for you. I'm not trying to jinx you here, but I mean like legitimate. I'm super surprised that you're 8-0. I think everyone is surprised you're 8-0. It sounds like you are also surprised that you're 8-0 a little bit.
I'm very. When I won last week, I literally like shouted out. I actually accidentally woke the baby up.
Yeah, the 1 point win. I lost by 1 to Tish, so I know I was on the other side of that. I was like, the only concern for me is the Chuba Hubbard piece because Jonathan Brooks is coming back. Well, you have Chase Brown as a starter now, and you like you said, you have Pacheco coming back. So even if Chuba drops, you have replacements. You can drop Michael Pittman when Nico comes back, and D Hop gets acquainted with the Chiefs offense. Man, I think you're built for the long run here, man. I really do.
I'm hoping. I'm praying. I would love to have my name on the belt. The dream.
Well, you're matched up. So this is gonna post. We're recording this ahead of the Week 9 matchups. So this is gonna post on Sunday. I'm probably gonna post this in the middle of the games, so you're not gonna know what's happening.
No.
But the Thursday night game has happened. You're playing Lulu, and Lulu already had Tank Dell with a 15. So are you specifically for this week's matchup? Are you wavering or are you confident? Because you are still projected to win by a significant margin. You're projected to win, but we know how projections go. So how do you feel about this week specifically?
I'm not too worried. I try not to worry until after like all the 3 o'clock games on Sunday
Mhm.
because I feel like so much happens back and forth on those first 12 games that happen.
I agree.
Like once you get to like the Sunday night late game, that's when like the stress sets in, or you're relaxed one way or the other.
I
Right?
agree. I generally try to not check fantasy, and I don't check my bets until after the entire early slate is done.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're just checking it every 5 seconds if you're checking it.
Well, like it's a roller coaster. You're up, you're down, you're up, you're down.
Yeah.
You're up.
100%. 100%.
But I mean, yeah, I'm going against Lulu, who is the only fully undefeated person all the way through a season in this league.
Is that true?
And yeah, I think she went 13-0 in the regular season and then won, didn't she?
When did that happen? That's news to me. I believe it though. That's the thing is like when it comes to Lulu, you believe it. I believe it.
I'm pretty sure she did.
I have a horrible memory though, but I don't remember that. But I believe it.
But I mean, we'll see what happens. But I won't stress until later tomorrow.
Nice. Okay. Good choice. Good choice.
I'm also hoping that like I'm getting some karma for the meme generation of the.
I was gonna bring that up next. The memes have been on point from you this season. Obviously, you're coming from a place of power and like just lording over all of us, so you can basically get away with whatever you want right now. For the next, you can lose 3 in a row and you can still do whatever you wanted in the group chat because you are literally undefeated. So you can do whatever you wanted right now. But the memes have been on point. They've been really good. I think everyone's looking forward to them every week from you.
Oh, I've got a big meme drop tomorrow.
Oh,
something.
Okay, he's teasing it. I saw you teasing in the group chat earlier today, so he's like, not dropping it yet.
Get people excited.
Oscar was asking for it, and he's like, not dropping it yet. I like that. Build the anticipation, that little roller coaster ride up. I like it.
I'll put it right before the game start. Get people excited for it. Can't put it too late because then it's like I'm either sandbagging or I'm not.
Right? Yeah. You can't wait till it's in the bag or you've lost because then it like changes the vibe. So I like that you did it, on a clean slate and let it sit there, let it simmer. I like that.
Yeah, still unknown. I mean, Lulu has the 15, but it's unknown still at this point. So I feel like it's still okay to put it out there.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, that's what's up. All right, last one. Give us the family update. How's Vancouver? How's the family? How's everyone doing?
Good. Mia's sleeping through most of the night. She wakes up like once around 2 o'clock, so I'm up already.
Nice.
And then go to bed. But yeah, it's good. Baby's healthy. Megan's healthy. I'm as healthy as I can be with my diet.
I think you can have like a few luxuries to yourself, dealing with a newborn, or basically newborn. I mean, I consider the first couple of years newborn.
No,
so.
She's new to me still. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Hopefully we can get. One thing I will say about the draft this year. I was a little upset because everyone was remote.
Yeah,
and it was. I do miss everyone being there. So hopefully next year we can get everyone together, including all the babies. And
I 100% agree. I think there was a lot of things that happened within that exact 3-week period. Like a handful of us were overseas at a wedding, and then Noshad had the 1 year birthday, and then Mia was still very young. So there's a lot of stuff going on. But I 100% wholeheartedly agree. I hope next year we can get at least a handful of people together with all the kids and everything. I think that'd be really, really awesome. Ranch draft. Perfect place for a ranch. Is all the kids can run around in the fields.
It's
We could,
Paul's dream. Living in
yeah,
Paul's
Paul's
dream.
exactly. All the kids running around, running amok in the field. It could be a great time.
Yeah.
I agree. Plenty of space for everybody.
If we do ranch draft, I'm calling out that Paul needs to show up dressed as Buffalo Bill though for the entire ranch.
A little creepy. I mean, it's not quite Halloween time when we draft, but I,
I mean, in the spirit though.
if anyone was going to, Paul is probably the one who would, right? Oh man, all right. Well, it's great to see you, man. It's great to talk to you. This is awesome. This is the first video I'm dropping this season. I said I'd do more, and I have not done that, so that's on me. But here's a little midweek or mid-season update for everybody, and our last and only undefeated Randy going for 9-0 against Lulu this week. We'll see how the early games are going, because I'll probably, I'll probably post this exactly in between the early games and the late games, so we can all see what the update is when this interview drops. And he's like, "Oh shit," or "Oh good," one way or the other. So
how naive I was.
yeah, exactly. It's great to talk to you, man. It's great to see you. I'm glad everybody's healthy and everyone's doing well. And we'll see. We'll be looking out for by now the memes will have already dropped. But now that I'm talking to you on Saturday night, I can't wait for the memes tomorrow morning.
All right.
All right. Later, buddy. Have a good night.
Thanks. You too. See you.